I look pretty rough because I just woke up. I finished the flat share yesterday. I read 300 pages of it. And then I slept for 12 hours because I'm old now. So the flat share by Beth O'Leary, it's like young adult, but young adult is a very contested definition. So like everyone has like a different opinion of the ages that it covers. But I think it covers up until like 26, 27. Like once we start transitioning into adulthood, that's what I think what characters do. But so basically it's about Tiffy Moore is one of the main characters, and she gets out of this really bad relationship, and she has been living with him still, and so she's like, I just need to get a new place, and he starts being like, well, you've got to pay me back, and you're taking advantage of me, and all sorts of stuff. And so she's looking for a place in London, I believe. It's set in the UK. And she has a job that, as much as it's full-time, it doesn't pay very much, so she can only afford like $300 a month or something, which is just ridiculous to expect for rent. So she comes across this ad for a flat share, and her friends are like, no, that's crazy. Which basically the arrangement is that she would have the flat from like 6 p.m. at night until 8 a.m. in the morning, because Leon, Toomey, his last name, Leon Toomey works overnights, and then he's home from basically like 8 to 5 or 8 to 6. And the arrangement is that they'll never meet because he has this crazy girlfriend who's probably completely fine, but I think she's crazy. But I don't know. So I heard about this book from Carrie Hope Fletcher, who I've watched for a while. Like I've watched since her channel was It's Way Past My Bedtime and everything, and she was talking about this book. She like posted a video probably, it might have been a year ago now, but I don't think it was a year ago. Where she has talked about all the books she's been reading recently, and this one really stuck out to me, so I ordered it. And it took me a while to, well, no, it didn't take me a while. It took me like a month to finish it, because I got it the week before spring break, and I read, maybe not the week before spring break, it was the week after spring break. And until yesterday, I'd only read like the first 70 pages, and then yesterday I just got really into it. And I really appreciate that it wasn't just like standard. I call young adult novels YA trash, even though it's my favorite thing ever, because it's typically the same scenes repeated over and over. What I really liked about this one is that she had those scenes, but it was like every now and then when you need a refresher, because everything is just so like crazy, crazy exes and all that. And it was just really interesting reading as like someone who's come out of a bad relationship. And like, I'm not a person who writes in books or highlights. I put sticky notes. But there was a line in the book that I just highlighted because it was like, she put it in words, she put it on the page. But I loved it. I'll be out of here. And I got to like the last like 150 pages, and I was like, well, I have to finish it, because everything starts to like wrap up and everything. And I was really frustrated because it felt like everything was happening so fast, but I was also like 200 pages in. I was halfway through the book, but it just felt like it was happening so fast to me. Um, it was really cool. Like, I got super emotionally invested in one scene, to the point that I had to just put down the book and complain to my friends because I was like, no. Yeah, it was great. I don't feel like I'm in a point where I'm like, oh, I want to reread this book of life, just because I used to finish a book and I'd be like, God, I can't wait to reread that. But I think I have so many books and so little free time. Well, obviously not right now. But I think one thing I super appreciate about being an English major who doesn't have time to read ever is that, because I have classes that it's like, we're reading 15 books this semester and everything, and I think the thing that I appreciate most is that, like, now that I'm done with that, I'm like, I get to read for fun, and it brings back that, like, excitement of reading. This was super good. It was, like, I feel like it was more than I expected, just because, I don't know, just because obviously I knew they were going to meet, spoiler alert, it's a young adult book, they're going to meet, it's a whole thing, but all the, like, side plots that were going on were really cool. So the summary, or whatever it's called, I should know this, but I don't, is their friends think they're crazy, but it's the perfect solution. Leon occupies the one-bed flat while Tiffy's at work in the day, and she has the run of the place the rest of the time. With the obsessive ex-boyfriends, wrongly imprisoned brothers, and of course the fact that they still haven't met yet, it seems this flat share is more complicated than expected. And I think having finished it, that last bit is kind of not true, but it's a good, like, way to get you in. Because they just kind of, there's moments where they're like, this is kind of weird, like, we've lived together for 6 months, we've never met yet. But for the most part, there's no complications. But it was super good, and I was kind of invested. There's, like, this side plot, where they're trying to find this long-lost lover of, Leon works in palliative care, and they're trying to find a long-lost lover of one of his patients, and that was super cool. Like, I loved that part. I was kind of invested, and then, like, she sets it up where you're like, oh, they found him, but then Leon's like, no, we didn't, we did not. And then later, of course, there's resolution. It's the young adult novel, and young adult is really good at tying up loose ends. I super loved it. Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. I feel like, okay, I'm thinking about this because I took a young adult lit class. I feel like this one is kind of more for when you're in college, when you're getting out of college, just because had I read this in high school, I'd been like, that's cool, but what's cool, like, what's so defining and what we love so much about young adult lit is that we can relate to it. And just in middle school and high school, I wouldn't have really been able to. I'd have been like, that's a cool story, but like, having been through college and everything, like, I understand where the life experience, I guess, that like Tiffy has. Like, I understand the coming out of a bad relationship and wanting to change everything so that you don't go back and everything, and there's, like, this feeling that at least I got, or have been getting a lot since I graduated high school, is that it's like, well, I want to do this because it would change my life, but I don't necessarily have the means, or I don't have the willpower, or I don't, and all this, that I just wouldn't have understood reading it in high school, but I super loved it. And I already told all my friends, like, before I finished it, I was like, y'all gotta read this book. It's super good. Yeah. Definitely amazing.